வெல்கம் டு மை யூடியூப் சேனலோட பேர் கண்ணன் டியூஷன் அகாடமி. இந்த வீடியோவில் நாம் பார்க்க போகிறது pgtrb காமர்ஸுக்கான மாடல் டெஸ்ட்டு 5. இந்த டெஸ்ட்டில் வீடியோஸ் பார்ட் 21லேருந்து பார்ட் 30 வரைக்கும் உள்ள 300 MCQலேருந்து 100 MCQ செலக்ட் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்கோம். இந்த டெஸ்ட்டுக்கு போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி உங்களுக்கு மினிமம் 1 hour டைம் இருக்குமான்னு பார்த்துக்கோங்க. இந்த டெஸ்ட்டுக்கு தேவையான பேப்பரும் பென்னும் மறக்காமல் கையில் எடுத்து வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஆன்சர் எழுதும்போது கொஸ்டின் நம்பரையும் ஆப்ஷன் நம்பரையும் மட்டும் போட்டால் போதும். இதோட கடைசி பார்ட்டில் ஆன்சர் கொடுத்துருக்கோம், அதை நீங்களே கரெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். வீடியோவுக்குள்ளே போகலாம் வாங்க. ஃபஸ்ட்டு கொஸ்டின், எ கான்ட்ரிபியூட்டர் இஸ் டேஷ். ஏ unsecured creditors, B preference creditor, C shareholder, D debenture holder. Second one, preferential creditors are shown in the statement of affairs under A list D, B list B, C list C, D list A. Third one, which one of the following is usually a long-term budget? A sales budget, B cash budget, C capital expenditure, D fixed budget. Fourth one, product cost under marginal costing includes dash. A prime cost only, B prime cost and variable overheads, C prime cost and fixed overheads, D material cost and variable overheads. Fifth one, the retiring auditor does not have a right to dash. A make return submission, B get his representation circulated, C be heard at the meeting, D speak as a member of the company. Sixth one, super profit is difference between dash. A average profit and normal profit, B capital employed and average capital employed, C current year profit and last year profit, D none of the above. இதில் கொடுத்துருக்கிற ஆப்ஷனில் ஏ இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதை ஆக்சுவல் ப்ராஃபிட் அண்டு நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட் அப்படின்னு மாற்றிக்கோங்க. ஏ ஆக்சுவல் ப்ராஃபிட் அண்டு நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட். Seventh one, Life Insurance Corporation of India is dash. A public corporation, B. Departmental undertaking. C. Government company. D. Private company. Eighth one. Investigation may be carried out on behalf of dash. A. Owners. B. Shareholders. C. Outsiders. D. Staff. Ninth one. Interim audit is conducted between two dash. A. Periodical audits. B. Partial audits. C. Occasional audit. D. None of these. 10th one. The country which is called the Museum of Human Race. A. Malaysia. B. Switzerland. C. India. D. Japan. 11th one. Industrial sickness is due to the following. A. Foreign exchange problem. B. Fixed capital problem. C. Marketing problem. D. Import problem. 12th one. Tariff is the levy on A. Commodity imported into the country. B. Commodity exported to another country. C. Domestically transported commodity. D. Levy on manufactured commodities. 13. Which of the following is a liquidity ratio? A. Current ratio. B. Liquidity ratio. C. Cash position ratio. D. All of them. 14. As a source of finance, how would you term equity capital? A. Short-term source. B. Long-term source. C. Medium-term source. D. Secondary source. 15. Management audit is conducted by A. Government auditor. B. Auditor appointed by the board of directors. C. Special auditor. D. Statutory auditor. 16. Royalty received can be verified from dash. A. Register of subscribers. B. Terms and conditions for payment of royalty. C. Counterfoil of the receipt royalty. D. Both B and C. 17. Current asset should be valued at dash. A. Cost price. B. market price, C cost price or market price, whichever is more, D cost price or market price, whichever is lower. Project appraisal methods do not include dash. A payback method, B average rate of return, C net present value, D break-even analysis. Owner's equity stands for dash. A fixed assets minus fixed liability, B fixed assets minus current liability, C current asset minus fixed liability, D total assets minus total liabilities. The Constitution Act 80th Amendment of dash year inserted dash article in the Constitution of India to provide free and compulsory education of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years as a fundamental right. A 2001 Article 40, B 2010 Article 12A, C 2009 Article 45A, D 2002 Article 21A. 21. The debt equity ratio is dash. A profitability ratio, B liquidity ratio, C solvency ratio, D turnover ratio. 22. A government company is a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by dash. A the central government, B the state government, C partly by the central government and partly by the state government, D all of the above. 23. Quorum for a meeting of a public company is dash if the number of members more than 1000 but less than 5000. A 3, B 15, C 30, D 50. இன்னொரு வாட்டி ஆப்ஷனை படிக்கிறேன். A 5, B 15, C 30, D 50. 24. Quorum for a meeting of a public company is dash if the number of members more than 5,000. A 5, B 15, C 30, D 50. 25. What is the expansion of BIFR? A. Bank of India financial report. B. Board for Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. C. Bank Investment and Factory Reconstruction. D. Bombay Industrial and Financial Region. 26. Doctrine of constructive notice means A. Notice of alteration of object class to the registrar. B. Notice of change of name to members. C. Notice to outsiders dealing with the company as to contents of memorandum and articles of association. D. Notice to public as to issue of prospectus. (27) A company may be wound up by the court A. By passing an ordinary resolution. B. By passing a special resolution. C. If the memorandum permits. D. If default is made in holding an AGM. (28) Discount on issue of share is a dash. A. Capital expenditure. B. Capital loss. C. Revenue expenditure. D. None of these. 29. Balance sheet is a statement of dash of a business at a specified time. A. Financial position. B. Profit and loss. C. Market value of investment. D. Replacement of the assets. (30) The international reserve asset created by the IMF as supplement to the existing reserve asset is dash. A. Compensatory financing facility. B. Essential fund facility. C. Buffer stock financing facility. D. Special drawing right. 31. Advertising copy refers to dash. A. Reading matter. B. Sponsors ideas. C. Action. D. Personal presentation. 32. Modern advertising or dash. A. Outdoor advertising. B. Film advertising. C. Indirect advertising. D. Direct advertising. 33. Seed capital assistance scheme is operated through dash. A. Notified SIDCs and SFCs. B. Branches of the State Bank of India. C. Branches of any nationalized bank. D. ICICI Bank. 34. Margin of safety can be improved by dash. A. Increase in sales volume. B. Lowering variable cost. C. Lowering fixed cost. D. All of these. 35. The carry forward system mainly used by the speculative brokers and large traders is known as dash. A. Badla system. B. Forward trade. C. Book building. D. Insider trading. 36. The role of multinational corporation is related to the problem of dash. A. Unemployment. B. Exploitation. C. Brain drain. D. Direct foreign investment. 37. SDR is adopted for dash. A. Reducing international liquidity. B. Increasing international liquidity. C. Promoting exports only. D. Promoting imports only. 38. Marketing is A bar and dash. A. Social process. B. Economic process. C. Exchange process. D. Social and economic process. 39. Which one of the following countries is called the land of white elephants? A. Malaysia, B. Thailand, C. Canada, D. Ethiopia. 40. Canteen and medical expenses may be redistributed to various departments on the basis of dash. A. Number of employees, B. Direct labor hour, C. Hours worked, D. Value of material purchased. 41. The Noisy Child and Silent Mind was written by dash. A. J. Krishnamurthy, B. John Dewey, C. Bertrand Russell, D. Sri Aurobindo. 42. The author of the book Wings of Fire is dash. A. Annie Besant, B. APJ Abdul Kalam, C. Jawaharlal Nehru, D. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. 43. Contingent liability is shown due to the convention of A. Full disclosure, B. Conservatism, C. Materiality, D. Consistency. 44. Dividend can be paid out of dash. A. Share premium, B. Reserves, C. Profits, D. Provisions. 45. The market provide facilities for raising both long term and short term funds is called dash. A. Money market, B. Capital market, C. Financial market, D. Primary market. 46. The product cost determined in standard cost accounting system is a dash. A. Direct cost, B. Fixed cost, C. Joint cost, D. Expected cost. 47. Prime cost plus variable overhead is known as dash. A. Production cost, B. Marginal cost. C. Total cost. D. Cost of sales. 48. The list of incentives offered by the government include dash. A. Interest-free loans. B. Transport subsidy. C. GST exemption. D. All of these. 49. Project classification includes dash. A. Quantifiable and non-quantifiable projects. B. Sectoral projects. C. Techno-economic projects. D. All of these. 50. Memorandum of Association explains dash. A. Defines the relationship between company and outsiders. B. Defines the relationship between company and its members. C. Specifies the scope of authority and the objectives. D. Defines the relationship between company and outsiders and specifies the scope of authority and objectives. 51. The importance of reconciliation is dash. A. Coordination. B. Effective control. C. Decision making. D. All of the above. 52. Reconciliation is usually done between dash. A. Gross profit and net profit. B. Previous year's profit and current year's profit. C. Profit of 2 units. D. Costing profit and financial profit. 53. Dynamo is a device for converting dash. A. Electricity to mechanical energy. B. Mechanical energy to electrical energy. C. Magnetism to electricity. D. Electricity to magnetism. 54. Which one of the following dynastics was not in power during the Sangam age? A. Pandyas. B. Cheran. C. Cholas. D. Pallavas. 55. NH7 connects A. Delhi to Kanyakumari, B. Kashmir to Kanyakumari, C. Agra to Kanyakumari, D. Varanasi to Kanyakumari. 56. The merchant banking companies also act as dash for debenture holders. A. Agents, B. Advisors, C. Trustees, D. Officers. 57. Commercial papers are unsecured promissory notes issued for a period of dash. A. 1 to 3 months, B. 3 to 6 months, C. 9 to 12 months, D. None of these. 58. The agency which helps to improve the quality of school education at state level is dash. A. NCERT, B. NCTE, C. SCERT, D. DTE. 59. In Indian history, who is known as the Indian Napoleon? A. Ashoka, B. Chandragupta II, C. Chanakya, D. Samudragupta. 60. Under purchase method of accounting, the excess of purchase consideration paid to the transferor company is debited to goodwill account, and normally this goodwill account should be written off within a period of dash. A. 2 years, B. 8 years, C. 20 years, D. 5 years. 61. While evaluating capital investment proposals, the time value of money is considered in the case of dash. A. Payback period method, B. Discounted cash flow method, C. Accounting rate of return method, D. Internal rate of return method. 62. The committee that suggested a system of multi-purpose education at the secondary stage was dash. A. Ramamurthy Committee, B. Tarachand Committee, C. Hunters Committee, D. Hartog Committee. 63. Secret reserve can be created by dash. A. Public limited companies only. B. Banking and financial companies only. C. Private limited companies only. D. Cooperative societies. 64. Sale of land is dash. A. Revenue receipt, B. Capital receipt, C. Revenue expenditure, D. Capital expenditure. 65. Accounting standard for amalgamation is dash. A. AS 8, B. AS 20, C. AS 14, D. AS 3. 66. Contribution made of an approved scientific research association is eligible for deduction up to dash. A. 50% of the contribution made, B. 80% of the contribution made, C. 100% of the contribution made, D. 175% of the contribution made. 67. Types of institutions (bracket scientific research association) prescribed for to get 100% deduction for the contribution made is given in section dash of IT Act. A. 80G, B. 80GG, C. 80GGA, D. 80GGB. 68. The objectives of Ibrd, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, include dash. A. To promote foreign private investment, B. Adoption of macroeconomic management, C. Increased loans from developed countries, D. Accumulated huge external debts. 69. Functions of IMF include dash. A. Regulatory, B. Financial, C. Consultative, D. All of these. 70. The Export and Import Bank was established in dash. A. January 1, 1982. B. January 1, 1983. C. January 1, 1984. D. January 1, 1985. 71. Contingent liability appears as a footnote in the balance sheet. This is in accordance with the accounting principle dash. A. Consistency. B. Disclosure. C. Conservatism. D. Materiality. 72. The policy of anticipating no profit and provide for all possible losses arises due to convention of dash. A. Consistency. B. Disclosure. C. Matching. D. Conservatism. 73. DIET stands for dash. A. District Institute for Employment of Teachers. B. District Institute of Education and Training. C. District Institute of Elementary Teacher Education. D. District Institute of Educational Technology. 74. School started by Madam Montessori was known as dash. A. Children's House. B. Boys School. C. Summer Hill School. D. Girls School. 75. The policy of anticipate no profit and provide for all possible losses arises due to dash. A. Conservatism convention. B. Consistency convention. C. Materiality convention. D. Disclosure convention. 76. Technical Consultancy Organization TCO are the subsidiary of dash. A. IDBI. B. ICICI. C. ITCOT. D. SIPCOT. 77. SIPCOT was set up in dash. A. 1974, B. 1972, C. 1971, D. 1975. 78. Sales volume can be increased by dash. A. An efficient sales organization. B. Giving free samples. C. Advertisement. D. Discount coupon. 79. Which one of the following statements is correct? A. Planning and control are essentially one and the same. B. Controlling is a part of the planning process. C. Controlling is a substitute for planning. D. A control process is meaningless without preset goals. (80) Internal auditor of a company must be dash. A. Cost accountant. B. Chartered accountant. C. ICWA. D. Need not possess any professional qualification. 81. The major function performed by an entrepreneur can be classified as dash. A. Risk bearing, organizing, innovation. B. Risk bearing and checking. C. Innovation, personal selling, organizing. D. Risk bearing, supervising, verifying. 82. Equity or equity featured capital seeking investment in new ideas, new companies, new products, new processes or new services that offer the potential for high return on investment is called dash. A. Unit capital. B. Venture capital. C. Seed capital. D. Nominal capital. 83. Gross works cost stands for dash. A. Works cost as adjusted by stock of work in progress. B. Works cost before adjusting cost of work in progress. C. Works cost before adjusting stock of finished goods. D. All of these. 84. Opportunity cost helps in dash. A. Ascertainment of cost. B. Controlling cost. C. Making managerial decisions. D. None of these. 85. Special audit is conducted at the order of the central government. Which section gives such powers? A. Section 233A. B. Section 233B. C. Section 242A. D. Section 242B. 86. Finding the enterprises with high technology involving risk and having high rewards is called dash. A. Seed capital. B. Venture capital. C. Working capital. D. Fixed capital. 87. Project appraisal in case of a proposed project is called dash. A. Post ante analysis. B. Ex ante analysis. C. Break even analysis. D. Decision tree analysis. '88. A useful teaching learning method for slow learners is dash. A. Lecture. B. Self-learning. C. Memorizing. D. Group learning. '89. Learning in free atmosphere was advocated by dash. A. Montessori. B. Gagny. C. J. Krishnamurthy. D. Gandhiji. 98. In case the directors fail to appoint first auditors of the company, the shareholder shall appoint them at dash by passing a resolution. A. General meeting. B. First annual general meeting. C. Statutory meeting. D. Annual general meeting. 91. Warehouse expenses is an example of dash. A. Production overhead. B. Selling overhead. C. Distribution overhead. D. Factory overhead. 92. Fabian entrepreneur are those entrepreneurs who dash. A. Introduce new goods, methods of production, new markets. B. Initiate techniques and technology innovated by others. C. Are characterized by very great caution and skepticism in experimenting any change. D. Refuse to adopt opportunities to make changes in production formulae. 93. Periodical audit is also called as dash. A. Final audit. B. Interim audit. C. Balance sheet audit. D. Income statement audit. '94. The auditor of a government company shall be appointed by dash. A. The government company itself. B. The central government. C. The shareholders. D. The debenture holders. '95. The liability of an auditor can be dash. A. Civil. B. Criminal. C. Civil and criminal. D. Official. 96. A maximum number of companies in which one can act as a director at the same time is dash. A. 10 companies. B. 15 companies. C. 20 companies. D. 25 companies. 97. Unusual transactions at the year end increase the dash. A. Profit. B. Risk of error and fraud. C. Sales. D. Cash. 98. Which of the following is not an exempted income? A. Agricultural income. B. Casual income up to rupees 5,000. C. Salary of a government employee. D. Salary of a ship's crew. '99. If the actual profits are more than the expected normal profits, the difference is termed as dash. A. Excess profits. B. Super profits. C. Average profits. D. Operating profits. 100. A vacancy caused by resignation of an auditor is filled by dash. A. Board of Directors. B. Managing Director. C. General Meeting. D. Central Government. இப்போது ஆன்சர் ஷீட்டுக்கு போகிறோம். உங்களோட ஷீட்டை எடுத்து வச்சுக்கோங்க. நான் சொல்ல சொல்ல உங்களோட ஆன்சர் கரெக்டாக எழுதியிருக்கீங்களான்னு பாருங்கள். கரெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஓகே. 1C 2C 3C 4B, 5D, 6A, 7A, 8C, 9A, 10C, 11C, 12A, 13B, 14B, 15B, 16D, 17D, 18D, 19D, 20D, 21C, 22D, 23B, 24C, 25B, 26C, 27B, 28C, 29A, 30D, 31A, 32C, 33A, 34D, 35A, 36D, 37B, 38C, 39B, 40A, 41A, 42B, 43A, 44C, 45C, 46A, 47B, 48D, 49D, 50D, 51D, 52D, 53B, 54D, 55D, 56C, 57B, 58C, 59D, 60D, 61B, 62B, 63B, 64B, 65C, 66C, 67C, 68A, 69D, 70A, 71B, 72D, 73B, 74A, 75A, 76C, 77C, 78C, 79D, 80B, 81A, 82B, 83B, 84C, 85C, 86B, 87B, 88C, 89C, 90A, 91C, 92C, 93C, 94B, 95C, 96C, 97B, 98C, 99 B 100D. ஓகே, இப்போது எவ்வளோ கரெக்டாக இருக்குன்னு கமெண்ட் பேஜில் மறக்காமல் எழுதுங்க. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் ஃபார் வாட்சிங் திஸ் வீடியோ. ஆல் த பெஸ்ட். இந்த எம்சிக்கு உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஏதாவது டவுட் இருந்ததுன்னா கமெண்ட் பேஜில் எழுதுங்க. இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா மறக்காமல் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள், பெல் ஐக்கானையும் ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணுங்கள். அப்போ தான் நான் போடுற அடுத்த வீடியோவோட நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் இம்மீடியட்டாக உங்களுக்கு வரும். இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பட்டனை ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணுங்கள். சப்போஸ் உங்களோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கும் ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸுக்கும் தேவைப்படும்னு நினச்சிங்கன்னா இந்த வீடியோவை ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள். ஒன்ஸ் அகைன் தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். ஆல் த பெஸ்ட்.